Hello, welcome to the Calrissian Cup Summer Major. I'm a little hammer, joined with Uplink, of course, and R1. Hope you guys are having a lovely day. How are you guys doing?
Man, I honestly got a little bit of chills just from that intro that we've got going on now. That is some hot stuff. Holy smokes!
Big shout out to Area Witch.
Pretty good, yeah. Uplink, how are you doing today?
Doing pretty good. We got some squadrons, we got some Star Wars, we got some really good competition coming up today, and I'm joined by you lovely, lovely gentlemen today.
Hey, you know, it's always a good time.
It is.
I think we're about to jump into it too. About to leave you two boys to start this off. It's going to be the Randolorians versus Gray Squadron Tempest. What are you guys feeling about there?
Ooh.
This is actually a neat matchup here. Gray Squadron, of course, coming out of a bit of a Gray Squadron civil war that happened in the first single elimination round here. Tempest Squadron beating Guac, of course, so now coming in against the Randolorians. Always a strong team. Currently, of course, they have qualified already for the Calrissian Cup final. Gray Squadron Tempest looking to make their way to that final as well. No, I think this should be an exciting match to kick everybody else off with here today. While, of course, we're going to be watching the Randolorians and Gray Squadron Tempest. We've got Cavern Angels Gold versus Savrip Squadron, Imperial Guard versus Remnant Squadron, and Splinter Squadron versus Baywatch also going on sort of at the same time. We'll see, catch back up with those results as we get into the semifinals.
It's going to be really cool to see what these teams are going to be offering. It's going to be really cool seeing how Splinter Squadron does.
Yeah.
They took a little bit of a break, a little bit of a hiatus here. So I'm interested to see what they look like getting warmed back up and what these teams are looking to. Are we going to see some of the other teams just say, hey, guys, you know, Splinter Squadrons, they took a little bit of a break. Let's capitalize on this and bring our A game.
You know, I think that's a really good point. Cavern Angels still on a hot streak here, coming in as our top seed for this event and our into our final brackets for today. Imperial Guard number 2, Splinter Squadron number 3, Randolorians number 4. All of them, of course, getting a bye in that first bracket round, but still. I think we've got a lot of teams that are easily in contention for the top spots today. We'll just have to see how they pan out in these matches coming up here.
Yeah, speaking of which, I think we're about to drop into the first quarterfinal here, folks. Again, going to be Randolorians versus Tempest. So for this matchup, what are you guys feeling in particular?
You know, I think this is an interesting one. All right, so maybe we've got maybe I don't even know if I was going to say maybe a bit of not a change up per se, but just to clarify, just to make sure everybody knows, these are all, of course, best of 5 matches in each of these rounds so far. It looks like the Randolorians have the first Empire picked here, and I think we've seen, you know, maybe almost a return to a balance of the force there between the two factions here. So
Oh yeah.
We'll see how this actually plays out, you know, between faction picks and map picks. Everybody now has sort of evolved or adapted to, you know, which factions are maybe just slightly advantaged in each of these maps. So there's some good counterplay, if you want us to call it that, between the different picks and the faction picks that go on to set up each of these matches. Of course, everything depends on how everybody flies in the individual matches themselves, but trying to set your team up for give your team the most advantage you could possibly squeeze out of those matches, I think is I guess you could say a good evolution we've seen in competitive squadrons so far, and it'll be interesting to see how things pan out here.
Definitely.
I think for our very first map here, it looks like we're going to be sitting in on the Nadiri Dockyards.
Interesting choice. I'm interested to see, like, we're seeing a lot more of the like standard loadouts and standard play styles for squadrons coming in. I'm excited to see what they do with Nadiri Dockyards. I think it's going to be interesting to see how the balances of the force, like you said, is going to affect these players. Will we see a heightened Empire or Republic, or are we going to see a pretty good balance of back and forth depending on the map? I think at this point in time, with this point of the meta, it's almost more important for the map than it is the faction. So if you have the right map choice for your faction, like, it's gonna come into your favor. Or if you have those skills on a particular map, it's gonna work out better for you.
And speaking of maps, Nadiri Dockyards, that is the opener map on how long those phases get dragged out. So we'll definitely see how that plays out.
No, I think that's exactly the point at these days, right? So the skill between all of these different teams and the I guess you could say that map and band selection process, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's gotten pretty good at it. They've all got, we've all built their spreadsheets in the background to see, okay, if they decide to do this, we're going to do this as our counter pick, so on and so forth. So of course, I think, not previewing too much here, but the Randolorians look like they may have the first Empire pick here, with then Gray Squadron getting the Nadiri Dockyards counter pick, if you will, there. So, I don't know. It's. I don't want to say. I don't just want to say it. Continue to say it's interesting. It's interesting to me. Maybe I don't know. Maybe that's just because I'm not that good at this game.
Research is interesting synonyms.
All right. So looks like lobby is up. So I'm gonna pop you guys right into it. Hope we have a good game to see. And I will see you guys on the flip side after this game is done.
Definitely.
Woo.
Oh, man. And the transition.
Got those sweet little transitions.
Did you see that?
I mean, I did. It was just there for a sexy second, but boy, was it worth it. Okay. All right. So we do, in fact, have the Randolorians here. Submo, Alex, Vix, Jester, and Brandon on the Randolorian side in Imperial uniforms here. Almost everybody in match and outfit.
Okay. Burst cannon, ion missile, ion cannon, rotary cannon, standard laser cannon. Rotary cannon as well.
So we've got Jester in a very interceptor role, as in the actual interceptor here, of course. Submo in the bully TIE fighter, of course, 2 TIE bombers for that good creep action, and of course the standard Reaper. On the Tempest squadron side of things, we've got looks like we're going without an interceptor role here, of course. We've got Precursor Chad and Expired in a pair of X-Wings, and of course Goliath multi-locks for both of the Y-Wings in that creep hunt and roll. Soda in rounding out the team in the U-Wing support.
Interesting. Again, we're saying the word again. Fascinating, I'll say.
Choice fascinating.
For
I like
them to go with a non-interceptor loadout there. We're seeing 2 Y-Wings, 2 X-Wings, and the support role. So we're seeing pretty good balance there. Normally we'll see maybe 2 bombers, and we'll see an X-Wing and maybe an A-Wing, or something along those lines, along with the support. But this time around, they're looking pretty good with their strategy and their setup here. But I'm looking forward to seeing what they do, and we're loading in now. Here we go. Egg-Pired.
Yes, indeed. So, right, we've got, of course, that nobody going without support in this opening phase here. Nobody going triple bomber either, right? So we've got a relatively straightforward loadout. Now, of course, there's not a ton you could do on the Nadiri Dockyards to get those opening creep shots. There's going to be a lot of fancy dogfighting action in the middle. Let's see how each of these teams get into it here. And we could see fact, Chad coming in out on Jester does not get that ion off in time. But Maticus Rex instead goes down. It is almost all Randolorians here on the Imperial side of things. Rebels finding a few bits and pieces of creep here and there as they can find it. Whoa, big swing. No, excuse me, just switching factions on the map there. Sorry. As we keep focus on Submo, now trying to chase down Precursor Chad. Getting in close. There's an ion. No. Chaffed away there, but they will bring down, looks like, the Corvette to round out that opening phase. Randolorians take the opening phase, and now Submo coming in hot, hot, hot on that Nebulon B. Coming in for that ion missile there on
very
that
strong
B.
opening from Rando here. They're doing a really good job of capitalizing on getting in, getting the morale going, and then jumping right in to start collecting and dealing some damage to those frigates there.
That was an ion. I was going to say that was an ion torpedo there from Submo, getting that in on D, bringing down those shields almost entirely in a single shot. And now we've got continued pressure on the hull of D, while C is also taking a beating on those shields. Brandon now just sort of circling around in that TIE bomber, hosing down that B, spraying fire into that hull there. All the shields, of course, down on that Neb B, down to, whoa, holy smokes, only just into the teens now for that Nebulon B. It is almost down entirely. Rotating over to second Neb B, does look like Tempest gets the Corvette, or excuse me, the Raider there. Corvette class, gets the Raider from the Imperial side of things, trying to fight back on that morale bar. Brandon, whoa, taking a lot of damage there, trying to get back to repair, does manage to make it out without giving up a kill.
Looks like Rando's going to save D until the flip to try to get back some of the morale as soon as they lose it. And here it is, just as we're speaking. Great Tempest is in control of the morale, and it looks like they did take down D, right, as they were flipping it.
Yeah, so yes, indeed. So the classic take down the frigate right after the phase flip in order to shorten your opponent's attack phase there, along with a kill on Soda near the end of that phase. Randolorians now on defense. Let's see if they can prevent as much damage on those Architect's cruisers. That's frigates there. A shield's already down, but that Corvette is just about to break apart there. There it goes. Ooh, maybe it's on fire. It's stumbling, bumbling, fumbling. There it goes. Breaks in half. And we are now just a few notches left on that morale bar. Nothing left but the creep to get, though. They might be able to get D here, sort of in that same mode right before the phase flip. Oh, a little bit of a bump by Rex. Okay, there is the phase flip, but still got 10 left on that Architect's. It will go down. And oh no! Oh, Rex, no! Smashes into the Nadiri Dock Guards, giving them a bit of a morale boost in addition. So wow, we've got just a few notches left on that Nebulon, or excuse me, on that Nebulon B.
Nebulon B.
Nebulon B, yes, letter C, objective Charlie.
And they take it down, already going to the MC-75.
So the Randolorians out very aggressive here, putting on the pressure, coming in straight on that shield generator. Can they do it? There is a ton of fire coming in there, and yes, shield generator does go down. Let's see if Brandon can flip around to the other side here. And now both shield generators are down on the MC-75.
Beautiful, beautiful teamwork there to take both of those down. Brandon doing an incredible job with targeting those right off of the bat and then dealing such a great amount of damage to get the MC-75 where they need to.
Just hosing it down from a distance. The Raider now sailing in. Yes.
before the Raider even gets over there, they've got both shields down.
Right. So now the Raider is, of course, dealing damage directly to the hull of that MC-75. They are continuing to put the pressure on there. Vixiat does go down. Submo is almost down himself. Jester is still looking okay at 56. Brandon, no, Jester goes down as well, so it will flip right at the end. Oh, but Brandon's, no. Okay, I don't know if that's going to be, well, it looks like it will be out of phaseable now. Vixiat coming in over the top real hot. Only single digits left on that MC-75. Vixiat looking to maybe wait a little bit before they make their final approach on it. Down to, it looks like 2 percentage points a hull there. Vixiat coming in hot. Can he get it? Can he get that last kill? Can he dance around that fire long enough? Oh no, he's taking a ton of fire from that. Oh, but he does manage to get the MC-75, pokes it one last time at the end.
Beautiful.
Manages to take the opening round here on the Deary Dockyards with the Imperial Navy. Randolorians coming up 1-0 in our best of 5.
That was a very, very strong match there, and they did a ton of damage. Look at Brandon and Submo there, and Vixia. All of them doing a great job, dealing a ton of damage. Duck Duck doing pretty good there. They just could not get it to... They couldn't... I mean, they were so strong and so hardcore with their attack. Like, they didn't have any time to react.
Right. No, I think that's essentially the case, right? So with that particular match, right, we saw Randolorians execute on virtually everything they needed to, right, in order to secure that victory. They won the opening flip. They got the Neb Bs to exactly the positions they needed to make sure then on the flip back to offense, it was a quick down in the Neb B and straight into the MC-75. They had to do a little out of phase work, but I mean, if you only need to do another 2 points of hull damage to that MC-75, yeah, it's gonna get. That's the way it's gonna go.
Out of phase is the way of the meta right now. Honestly, it is. I mean, you hardly ever in the current state of squadrons right now, you hardly ever see them go full on in a single phase. Like, it does happen, you can accomplish it, but especially with the A and C or A, B, C, D, those frigates there, you almost never see them just wipe it out in one match, like one morale boost.
I think that's a good point, right? So I think the prescribed strategy, right? You know, even right now, everybody in the squadrons competitive scene is essentially now at the point where they can hunt down those creeps well, shorten the attack phase as much as possible. Nadiri Dockyards, of course, is a tough one. If you are stuck on defense that first round, that is a tough thing to come back to, just because you can't find the creep, and the length of those defensive phases just is too long, right? So you're kind of on that back foot, right, if you lose that opening shot. That being said, right, everybody is in now this mode where they're going to damage both Neb Bs as much as they possibly can, wait for the flip, maybe take one, maybe even take both of them out, right? So that way, in the next round, in the next phase, they're ready to go straight in on that MC-75, maybe do a couple of glancing shots on the last remaining Neb B, clear your morale bar to full, and then straight onto the MC-75 and or ISD.
Yeah, it just doesn't make sense to not do that strategy. You're wasting morale boost if you take it on your turn. Like, you just have to wait, make sure it flips, and then just take that little bit of morale back from them. Like, that's just the best way to do it.
It's interesting because it's interesting. Maybe that's the, well, I don't know, if we made that a drinking contest, we'd probably all be passed out by the end of the semifinal matches. But it makes it maybe even tough for us to do our jobs, because I mean there essentially is, okay, now as things have coalesced over these past several months, one sort of definitive strategy for it, and it's really just about how you execute well on it, right?
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, there's always some some odd mixes of things here and there, but the just general strategy of things has been refined to the credit of all the folks that are doing our competitive, or in our, on our competitive squadron scene here. They've all sort of either figured it out or devised their own sort of individual ways to do it. But general strategy, get those net beats down, get them almost there, knock it out, rinse and repeat.
Hold fire, hold fire, morale flip, fire.
Get it done. That's right. Explosion's nice. That's right. So, based on, I mean, it is interesting, right? Ah, dang it, we did it again. We're back into Fostar Haven for our for our map choice for round 2 here. Of course, the factions will flip. Tempest Squadron will have the Imperial side of things. Fostar Haven maybe a little bit better in terms of balance between the two sides, depending on who wins that opening flip. But I do wonder, maybe that's a good way, I do wonder if we'll see something different from Tempest here. And so we can, in fact, see we have a lobby up, and we are ready to go here for round 2.
We do have a faction flip.
We do have a faction flip, and we do not quite see a bully TIE fighter in the mix here. So Randolorians, in their particular squadron dynamic, prefer
2 defenders, 2 bombers, and a support.
So this is a little bit more of a classic opening setup here from the Tempest Squadron. And
will they?
Here we
I
go.
wonder if they'll stick with this, or if they're just waiting to lock in their results. But
I always enjoy when they pull a fast one on us, the casters.
Wait, they're in an A-wing now?
Oh man, what happened? But this is, I think this is unlike Nadiri, where you can get those opening Goliaths on, or excuse me, when you can't get those opening Goliaths, right, on full packs. You do have that option on Fostar Haven. So we will see if the Randolorians are able to pull off that triple. Maybe we do need to have like a figure skating term in there, a triple Lutz, to nail all 3 packs of AI starfighters with Goliaths in that opening phase. And if they're able to do so, they will absolutely have command of that opening round. So let's see what they are able to do. Oh boy, we got some pretty camera shots of the maps before we load in. That's also new and different. I'm so used to when I play the game where I'm just staring at a loading screen for the longest time. I don't have to do any of that today. This is nice.
Great.
This is fantastic.
I like this.
All right, loading here into the Randolorian side here. Opening up our second match of the day, quarterfinals, round 2, Randolorians versus Gray Squadron Tempest. And we can see both X-Wings coming in hot on there, so looks like you can see the targeting lining up there. Boosts all the way out. Looks like we do have a couple of Goliaths going in, going out. Corvettes now engaging in the middle of the field. Little bit of ionization on, on a soda. They go down, so some kills actually traded back and forth there. Brandon going down on the Randolorian side, a soda going down on Tempest Squadron. They are hunting some of these TIE defenders here. That, of course, can be a lesson in futility sometimes. It looks like the Randolorians are squeaking out a little bit there. Oh, but Expired is in trouble. Submo coming in hot on Expired. Are they going to get it? No, Expired, he is going to get out of there in a hurry. Both of the frigates are, excuse me, the corvettes are still up here. But up for how long? Oh, Expired coming back in. He's got his shields back up. He's now trying to hit back at Sumbo. Will he get him? Yes. Ooh, but not before the phase flips. So we will see the Randolorians take the opening phase here, but not without casualties. So a few hits coming in on the randos and also on some creep right as the phase flipped.
I'm amazed Ekpyre is still standing.
Yeah, right. That is what the TIE Defender is all about these days. Leave, regen those shields, dash back in. Well, we're seeing a ton of fire coming in on D here. Shields now down on this Architans. Goliaths coming out, bombing runs being made. D now down to just about 80%, 70%. And now Ion's also now going out on C. Oh, there's a big Ion torpedo hit there. Randolorian's still one of the few teams that have decided to stick with, you know, an Ion torpedo build. Oh, but no, Soda, I think it's a little bit of a clunker there. He is in trouble. Oh, but no, it is, they have made the flip there. Gray Tempest Squadron now pushing back. Ooh, that cruiser is just about down. There it finally goes.
Some good moves from Grey Tempest there. They really need to capitalize on this shift here, because we know, as we've seen in the past, in that last match and in previous games with Randolorians, they can really capitalize very quickly on coming together as a team and dealing a lot of damage very quickly.
Yeah, they didn't manage to get a ton of damage on the second Architect's frigate here, but oh, and with a kill on a Soda, well, a kill back on Submo, but still they are quickly losing morale bar here. C now down, of course, into hull range. Oh, Maticus Rex also goes down. Randolorians putting up an excellent defense here. Precursor Chad just spinning like a madman and trying to get underneath some of these Nebulon Bs here. Under a tremendous amount of fire. Oh no, makes a bump into, looks like a Soda maybe even there, or maybe even the Raider, excuse me. I saw some big solar panels pop up across the screen there. As he was trying to dance around, the Raider does go down. I think that should be enough to flip this back. So, Tempest Squadron now in a tough spot here. They've got one cruiser left to defend. Full morale bar in place for the Randolorians on the attack. On the offensive. Somewhere in between both those words. Why not?
Rando's doing a really good job here at starting to go attack the D ship here. Doing some damage, but no, wasn't able to pull out of that bonk there.
Brandon there, yeah, getting ionized and then bonking straight into the Architans. That's going to help Tempest Squadron a little bit, but it is just about down. All right, so with about 80% of that morale bar, Tempest Squadron could put in a defense here and keep that ISD alive. Randolorians, Randolorians had a full morale bar coming in our last match on, and that kill on Expired is gonna set them back just a little bit there. Oh no, his Precursor Chad, they are shieldless in that TIE Defender, which is a terrible place to be. But there's not much left in this morale bar. Submo now coming in, trying to get an attack run on that. Torpedoes out. Oh, but being blocked, getting shot down. Oh no. They're hitting those shield gens, but they are not hitting them hard enough. Disable on one of them, 26 health remaining on the other. Are they gonna, looks like they might be able to squeeze out this one. Yes, so they do manage to kill one, disable the other. The other, shield generator down to 26 in the teens. It goes down as well. No, but there goes that X-Wing. I believe that is enough to, yes, so that will flip it back.
We got 3 out of the match right now. Vixia, Brandon, and Submo all got knocked out during that run there. So Tempest, come on, guys, you can capitalize on this. But
they do it. Oh, Alex now Precursor Chad trying to come in on Alex. Oh, but he gets ionized himself.
Oh.
No, and taken out. A desperate chase there, perhaps. Being distracted from the Neb B that perhaps needed to be attacked instead. Trying to save some morale, but then getting taken out in the process. Now they need to bring down, okay, they've got one Neb B down. Can they get the other without losing too much more morale? If they can, they'll be in a pretty decent spot to open up on the MC-75. Oh, there goes the Raider in that, so that's another hefty morale shift.
Nice.
Back to about 50% here. D now down at about 30, trending down real fast. Ordnance coming in from all over the place. Last
so normally
torpedo
I'd
coming
say,
in.
if they weren't such a loss, I'd say wait until the morale flip. That they need to capitalize it and get it now so they can start doing some damage against the New Republic.
Absolutely, and there goes that Neb B. MC-75 is now open up. Oh, but not much morale left, so they've really got to go in and try to get some of these shield gens on it. Oh no!
It flips on him.
So both Expired and a Soda go down, and that is the phase.
Oh, Heller's down too.
Oh man, so Randolorians now on offense. No shields on that ISD. They've got time to make the line change. Atticus Rex now trying to get down some creep while the rest of his team is trying to reform in
all
defense.
X-Wings.
All X-Wings all the time. Coming in hot, hot, hot on that ISD. We could see some damage start to creep in there just from the capital ship gunnery fire. Corvette, the CR-90 Corvette is also now going to start to get in there. Good AI pack being found. Whoa!
What
Whoa,
was that?
Metasiggy just hitting the boost button in the wrong direction. Perhaps a stealth asteroid, I don't quite know. But either, no, and they go down. So that bit of a stumble.
I don't know what was just happening there, but it was clearly in his line of sight and just decided to go for it.
Boy, howdy. You know what? If I had a nickel for every time I gunned it into an asteroid, I'd also probably be a rich man. So I can't give him too much grief for that. But this fire is coming in on the ISD. The ISD, of course, just melting under all of it. Blisters all over the place. And there goes those final explosion from the ISD. Randolorians take round 2 versus Grey Tempest Squadron. And as the Republic on Fostar Haven.
Woo. Okay,
And-
let's see here.
Yeah, and
Doing
I
a pretty
think
good spread there. Heller
Yeah,
with
that-
56,000 capital ship damage.
yeah, the Tempest Squadron was trying to pull out the stops this time around. Atticus Rex getting 4 kills in a TIE bomber, not bad at all. But the advantage, of course, coming down to the Randolorians, and maybe even just their strategy in that opening phase, right? So the extra bit of skill, right, now that's required to learn the pathing of all of the AI at in the opening for every single map, right? Of course, I mean, I don't know. I could never get the pathing down. I think I tried a Dumbfire Goliath maybe a dozen times, and I don't think I ever landed one, even on Yavin, where you can see the things coming at you. So it's definitely a skill to be learned, but one that certain teams here on display today are able to take a very unique advantage of.
I mean, the Randolorians showing why they are one of the top teams for sure. Tempest, they tried their best, definitely tried their best, but they were not able to pull it out there. I mean, we saw some really good numbers from a lot of the members of Tempest there, but they weren't able to really capitalize it on some of the shifts. Randolorians were just so quick to bring it back. Anytime the Tempest team there got 2 steps forward, Randolorians would push them 2 steps back. So they stayed in the same position pretty much a lot of that game there.
I think that's extremely fair. The Randolorians are, of course, one of our top teams, one of the winners of one of the previous majors as well. Coming out of the bracket yesterday, they were also 7-0 with maximum points. So a tough matchup, unfortunately, for Tempest Squadron. We've seen them in the top 16 here, top 12 a number of times. And they are just unfortunately hitting the brick wall that is the Randolorians this match.
Definitely, but Randolorians, they're showing their skills. I'm fascinated, looking forward to seeing what they do with the next round. Will we see a faction flip, or are they comfortable with where they are right now? What map are they gonna choose? Interested to see. There we go.
You said it right at the end. Oh, you almost made it on.
Almost made it through.
Almost made it through. No, absolutely right. So here we're going to be coming into our third match. This is, of course, now do or die for the great Tempest Squadron here. Tempest does have the Imperial faction side of things here, and it looks like we are going to be coming in on Sisebo very shortly.
Okay.
Sisebo, still my favorite map. There's just enough going on there. Maybe I'll say it every single time we have a Cal Cup event. But I don't know. It still gets me how gorgeous and detailed all the maps are in Squadron. Sometimes, we could lose sight of that as we're trying to fly and commentate and watch all these blasters going around. Though. That's right. Not with all. Ooh. Excellent call out there. But you're absolutely right. With these cinematic shots here, maybe we don't always forget.
Sisebo is a good balanced map, I'd say. I know it's your love, your angle, your go-to for sure. You're in a long-term committed relationship with that map.
Committed relationship with Sisebo. That's right.
But it's a good one. We're sticking with the same factions for these guys, so I think it's going to be cool to see what changes they're going to be making for this map and what each of the teams are going to be offering. What loadouts are we going to see? I'm wondering if they're going to just stick to it, or if we're going to see them switch things up and just say, hey, we tried to stick with our strategies before. Now we're going to switch things up and do something different.
Yeah, I think we saw maybe even with the Tempest Squadron's dual defender action, right? Tried even to dive in a little bit and harass the creep killers on the Randolorian side of things. Of course, the Randolorians loaded in with 3 Y-Wings, so that's a much more difficult task.
This is true.
You might be able to get one of them, right? But even if you're able to peel one of them off, the other 2 are still doing work, and they're obviously going to be able to communicating with all their squad mates and say, hey, I missed that pack. Can you go pick it up? I'm being harassed by these 2 jerks and TIE defenders, so on and so forth, right? If you don't do the same, right? If you stick with the same dual TIE bomber loadout, you're more susceptible to that harassment. But then, of course, you can't do the same offensive. You don't have the same offensive capability. So we'll see. It's I don't. We've seen it occasionally before, right? Where some folks or some teams will load in just with no support chips. That does not seem to be the case so far. And then, of course, I am immediately corrected. So that is absolutely the case here. We are going to see... Oh, no, a soda changed at the very last minute just to make me look bad. Going back to the Reaper, maybe they even considered, right, a full house of TIE bombers over defenders. We are going to see the same loadout here from the Randolorians, 3 Y-Wings.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
That's a good point. No A-Wing this time, of course. A-Wing, maybe even just specifically that Nadiri Dockyards tech, since you can't get to that 3rd AI pack. Why try? Might as well try to engage and destroy enemy ships in that opening engagement.
Yeah, the multiple Y-wings is a really good strategy, like you're saying. If you take one, there's still two more working their magic to take those AI out. So it's a good strategy, and not a whole lot of people use it. So it isn't really there to be attacked very much because people don't really see it. So why make a strategy against it?
It's a very good point. Very good point. And so here we go. There we go. There are those beautiful, beautiful panning camera shots of Suo. And we will see if the Gray Tempest Squadron can make it out of Sisabu, or if they will be left with the wreckage that is this map. Ooh. Here on round 3. Whoo! Look at that. Just tying it all together, man. Just tying it all together.
Will they rise from the wreckage, or will they become it?
We get extremely dramatic here while we get these awesome panning camera shots. And we are into the match here. Opening of round 3 of our first quarterfinal match between the Randolorians and Gray Tempest Squadron. We're going to get into the action here, honing in on Brandon, of course, here. They are everybody's hitting boost to get into the action as quickly as possible here. Ooh. Notice we even got some neat little power system readouts down below. That is snazzy. All sorts of good tech coming on display here today. And here we are in the opening fight. Jester, of course, the only one in an interceptor role, even if, of course, they're using an X-Wing. Getting that ion missile off, but no, it's going to get distracted, chaffed away. But the Randolorians and their heavier... Ooh, no, Submo gets taken down. So the pressure... from both of those TIE defenders managed to take Subbo down, but they also, of course, lose a soda in the process, going after the Reaper, that giant wing of a ship, instead. And now we've got a bunch of fire coming into that CR-90. Boy, we are still neck and neck. 10 seconds into this opening phase here. Everybody still dogfighting around this center. Man, that bar keeps going. They are absolutely... Tempest knows that this is their last match. They are fighting for their lives here. But now Jester is coming in hot on Precursor Chad. Chad down with no shields remaining. He's got to get out of there before he takes any hits on that incredibly weak TIE Defender hull. That Corvette is almost down. Alex from the Randolorians does go down as well. The Tempest Squadron, almost had the opening flip, but expired, dropped right at the last moment. Vix, goes down. The Tempest Squadron almost has this opening phase. 2 seconds left. They will take it. Ooh. For the first time in our matchup so far. Gray Squadron not going down without a fight here. They are now they have won their first opening phase. They are on offense. Now for the first time in this quarterfinal matchup. Wow. Let's see what they can do with this reduced morale bar, of course, coming out of that opening phase. No team won it decisively, so it just goes to sort of a tiebreaker. Who's got more? And now we're seeing a kill on Asoda and also some more creep kills coming in. And there's a kill on Precursor Chad as well. Shields are down on the Charlie Nebulon B, but creep are being found in rapid fashion here. Shields just down a little bit on D. Not getting a ton out of this opening phase here for Tempest Squadron. So they're able to do some damage, but it's not quite enough. And Maticus Rex choosing to go down with the ship, down with that offense, and respawn on defense rather than make the trip. I'm going to say that Nebulon B is down to just about half here. We'll see if they can make it all the way through this defensive phase here. A little bit of creep damage before Randolorians are able to make contact. Some ion missiles now coming out. No ion torpedo this time around, it looks like.
already doing a really good amount of damage on D with that shield. Almost taken out completely.
With an excellent Dumbfire Goliath right under the shields, taking out a couple of turrets as well. D now taking some serious damage. C shield still holding pretty well, but the creep is... that morale bar is just standing still here for way too long. Oh no, and now it goes in the opposite direction, in fact. They trade kills between Expired and Submo, but of course that is always going to be a tough one to trade. Only getting 5 points on the morale bar. Better to find 2 AI fighters than to try to trade a kill for a kill. But now we can see D is getting dangerously close to dead here. They might even take it out. Yes, they do. So they are trying to go full bore on these frigates.
I mean, they've got the morale for it, so they can keep on hammering down on C here once they've got that.
Right.
There, so.
Absolutely. So, hey, look at that. On the third match of the day, our declarative statements on, hey, this is the standard strategy have already been thrown to the wind. But here you can absolutely see, right, the ability for a team to call audibles like that against their quote-unquote standard strategy is going to be one of the strengths that make them a top-tier team versus ones that leave them, well, in the dust of today's bracket, if you will. Oh, another kill on Heller while they were just trying to get down that cruiser. That cruiser has 7 hit points left.
Take it down.
Oh, no. So that was critical there, right? So if that Corvette had managed to go down before the Architans, that would have flipped the phase, but instead they will take down the Architans, which adds them a little bit more in their current offensive phase. Now that Corvette goes down, and we'll see they just have a little bit left on this ISD. Whoa, Brandon, no, getting caught just a little bit. The Y-Wing booster engines on the side there getting torn up a little bit against the hull of that ISD, but they managed to take out one shield generator. Are they going to get the other? See his targeting flip around, finding that subsystem. Brandon all out of shields. Can they get in and underneath? Yes, they do. So both ISD shield generators down. An excellent attack run, offensive phase from the Randolorians there. All of them are dead. They are simply all dead. So now, of course, Tempest Squadron has to make a tough choice. Do we press the attack while they're all out? Or do we, in fact, go back and get that line change? You can see now a little bit of change between both sides here. Shields are now down on D. Oh, no. Heller taking a lot of fire here. They've got him in his sights, and Ion goes out. That is the end of Heller. Excellent kill there. Oh, no, and you can even see Asoda also getting ionized in the process over there, floating over the Nebulon B. This Nebulon B is not long for this world. Oh, no. Oh, no. Chad makes a bad slide in that TIE Defender straight into the superstructure of the Nebulon B. And now that is it. Oh, and Maticus Rex trying to get that last little bit on the Neb B to save their morale. That is all for naught. Randolorians now have this ISD wide open, and they are coming in for the kill. Oh, and Ion now coming in on Alex. He is down in that opening. So excellent defense there from Tempest. Can they keep it up? First set of blisters being found. Hull sections getting taken out on that ISD. And we are now super close. Look at all that morale, though. Lot of pushing back by Tempest Squadron.
Yeah. They are in a really good situation here. Tempest needs to take them down. Quick.
Some excellent Ions on defense here, getting Brandon as well. It is, boy, they are almost going to pull it off, but it looks like the Randolorians are doing just enough damage to this ISD to keep it in the out of phase territory. We're switching to this beautiful, look at that lovely Sismo sunrise over the ISD as the inner structure begins to explode, and that is the game. Randolorians take round 3 of our best of 5, of course, winning the series 3-0 over Great Tempest Squadron. Great Tempest doing everything they possibly could, but Jester coming in, look at hot with 9 kills and 14k worth of cap ship damage. That is the reason for the season. Good gravy.
Goodness gracious.
That is why Jester continues to be one of the Randolorians' top aces, especially in terms of starfighter kills. That is why they are one of our top competitors here.
Truly.
So, just an excellent showing from the Randolorians here in our opening quarterfinals match.
Yeah, and all of these matches today are best of 5. Sadly, Great Tempest were not able to do some back and forth, and Randolorians were able to take it the entire way there. So it was pretty intense showing for Randolorian. Definitely feeling it for the Tempest guys.
Yeah, no kidding, right? So Tempest Squadron, of course, had to play their opening game in our top 12 bracket versus their colleagues in Gray Squadron Guac. They came out ahead in that Gray Squadron Civil War, of course, only to be punched in the mouth by the Bucky that is the Randolorians here. But I think the Randolorians, of course, showing us that they are one of our top competitors for the day, and we'll be back with more Squadrons action after this.